a lot of times if I'm in a high school or somewhere, I play a little game and I'll sort of walk up and down the aisle, and while I'm talking, I'll say, "Has anybody got a $10 bill?" And some kid will produce one. I'll thank you, and I'll stick it in my pocket and keep walking on, talking. And eventually, I'll get back and pretend, "Oh yeah, the money." And the point I'll make is, I'll say, 5 minutes ago, John here was more free than he is right now. He had $10 more, and he could freely decide what to spend it on, what to do with it. And the point I'm trying to get across to these young people is that we were put here, I believe, as a country and as a people and as a nation to promote and exemplify freedom, and that's what we're trying to do. And then ultimately, when government takes a nickel from a free citizen, it better have a darn good reason for doing so. And then it has a sacred obligation to spend it carefully. These are obvious statements, I know, but again, it appears we have to relearn them once in a while in this country. We have operated in Indiana on a basis that any savvy observer, anybody in this room, would look at if you were to examine our policies and the choices we've made, actions we've taken. You would apply that, in the modern usage anyway, the term conservative to them. I never do. The people I know, the people I see when I ride my motorcycles around the state, when I stay overnight in their homes, when I walk unannounced into saloons and, beauty parlors and the like, most of them don't think in those terms. They want to know what'll work, what'll let me and my kids have a better chance in life, what'll give me a chance to keep a little more of my hard-earned dollar and so forth. And so we simply go about the business of trying to solve problems that mean something to real people, and we don't spend a lot of time talking to them about the philosophy unless it's in very simplistic terms like the ones I just used. This is just our method, but I believe it is serving us well. We operate on the view that there's absolutely nothing inconsistent. In fact, you can make a fatal mistake if you allow conservatism to translate into negativism or passivism. And we were in a position that you in Illinois are now in. We were the outs. We'd been out for 16 years. And we had no problem adopting the stance of the party of change. Long before you ever heard it on the national networks, we were labeling our opposition, or not always loyal opposition, in Indiana, the party of no. They are. They are genuine reactionaries. Every idea we've ever had, they've thought was bad, and they've not had one of their own in 5 years. So we are the party of action and motion and change and ideas. We believe in always trying to define the agenda and always be trying to offer suggestions to our fellow citizens that are, we hope, address the problems that really do bother them. John said something really important I hope you noticed. And that is, he mentioned the least advantaged, the least fortunate among us. It is I think, colossal error of too many people who agree with things I just said, either to talk at the level of abstraction or to forfeit the high ground by allowing the other side to claim to be, larger of heart and spirit and all that business. It is by now clearly demonstrated and easy to show people that the policies of freedom, of autonomy, of individual autonomy as opposed to paternalism are far better, not just for society writ large, but for the people struggling for that first handhold on the ladder. And we should never, ever fail to define what we're trying to do in terms of what it means to the youngest people just starting their lives and to the poorest people looking for the same advantages everybody in this room has. And since most people who look at the world this way, the way our politics has evolved in America, most people wear the Republican uniform. I do so proudly. I don't talk about it. I don't use it. I don't use the R&D words either, unless, comes up in a question. But I do believe this, and I have for a long time. Republicans have to face up to the unfair stereotype. It's inaccurate, untrue, and all the rest. But you know that there is a negative caricature that Republicans think only about the well-to-do, are thoughtless, or even careless about those of lower income, lower socioeconomic status, how unfair. You can be, as I sometimes say, a bajillionaire who wouldn't know a working family if your limo rode over them. But if you're a Democrat, you're presumed to have a heart for folks, right? Well, it's reality, so deal with it. And we have worked very, very hard in our state. It takes shoe leather, it takes effort, but you grow and you learn a lot along the way. I've spent 5 years traveling the state, most of it not dressed at all like this. And we simply refuse to concede for a moment that we are less connected, less, as they say, compassionate, less interested at all as our opponents. In fact, we assert to the contrary and try to prove it. And you can do this, but you can't do it, with a cameo appearance, with a weekend listening tour, and then back to the TV studio and the tarmac. You've got to be prepared to go out and put yourself out there and learn along the way. And I hope more Republicans in the resurgence which is coming will look at their opportunities a little more that way.